Hey traders, today I locked in a profit of just over $1,000 in the stock symbol TRVN, which is coincidentally up about 420% right now on the day. This is obviously a massive runner, and I wanted to break down how I got this stock on my radar all the way down here in the 80 cent per share range. And I'm also going to break down where and why I got into the stock, as well as a few important lessons and tips that came from this trade. Okay, so first and foremost, if we kind of just take a focus here on the pre-market session, we could see that TRVN was already gapping up in pre-market. It kind of formed some support down here at about 75 cents per share, and that is kind of the key level going into the open at that point. So fast forwarding a bit, we can see that it does continue to hold that level here at the open. If we go over to the Market Master group very quickly, we can see that every single morning I will post the opening range breakout levels for the top gainers from pre-market. All of these are going to be potential gap and go candidates. So TRVN had an opening range breakout level of about 85 cents. And because of that, we can see it pushes right above that 85 cent level after holding this level of support down at about 75 cents. And it really just takes off, ripping through the pre-market high of $1 per share and continuing to spike higher and higher and higher throughout the rest of the morning. So very quickly, I just want to give a quick shout out to Murph in chat. Murph was able to lock in a profit of $631, and I know that Murph is relatively new to the group, so it's great to see him making these types of profits already. And I just want to say to keep up the good work, and hopefully we'll see you continue to grow and consistently making bigger and bigger profits. Now, with that being said, I don't know exactly when Murph was able to get in and out of this trade, whether he got in immediately at the opening range breakout level down here in the 80s, or if he was chasing a little bit higher and still made a nice profit from doing so. But I will say that even though I made about $1,000 on this trade, this was definitely not one of my better trades, and this was not a trade that I was very confident in at the time that I actually got into it. And the reason for that is because I was actually in a different trade earlier this morning. Over in my Trade Zero account, I was short selling the stock EasyFL, and I posted an alert about this in the Market Master group telling them that I was short. And the reason for that is because if we take a look at the 1-minute chart, we could see this stock was gapping up in pre-market, but it was looking relatively weak at the market open. So once we got this big rejection here at about $4 per share, it spiked up very quickly through VWAP and then immediately came straight back down. I immediately saw that as a sign of weakness, and I took a short position in the 350s. And really just a few minutes later, I was able to cover under $3 per share, making over 50 cents per share on that position. I will say that it was a relatively small profit for that trade because this all happened so fast and I wasn't able to really scale into a full position. But nonetheless, that is kind of what I was focusing on at the point in time that I typically would be looking to buy into the stock TRVN. So because of that, instead of getting in immediately at the opening range breakout, what I actually did was I ended up chasing a little bit all the way up here in the 160s. And the reason for that is because this was continuing to spike up and halt up time and time again. And typically speaking, if a stock is not dying, it's not crashing back down, it's able to hold up near the highs and consolidate at those levels for a few minutes at a time, even after having a halt to the upside. That is a bullish sign that the stock in the momentum is likely going to continue until there is some kind of bearish confirmation. And since I didn't get that bearish confirmation at any point in time, I got in the 160s and got out very quickly later for a nice $1,000 scalp. Now again, even though I'm making a video about this, and even though it was a profitable trade, I'm not very proud of this trade because at the end of the day, I could have made much more on this trade. And I also did break some rules getting into this trade at a point when it very realistically could have been considered chasing. Okay, so the reason that I am making this video is to really remind you that you don't need to nail the exact top and the exact bottom to still make a nice profit on a trade. In fact, trying to nail the exact top and the exact bottom is often what leads you to get in and out of trades way too early or even way too late. For example, let's kind of take the other perspective here and look at this as a stock that is already up 300, 400% for the day. And let's pretend that we were looking to short sell the stock TRVN, maybe at $2 per share. At that point in time, the stock was already up a very significant amount, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to come crashing back down right away. A stock being up, quote unquote, too much does not mean that the stock needs to come back down, and vice versa is also true. A stock being down too much is not a good enough reason for you to buy in with the expectation that the stock is going to bounce back up. So if you were a short seller in this case and you were looking to nail the exact top, short selling up into this spike up here, there's a good chance that at some point in time along this big run, you would have been shorting way too early and would have had to take a loss on the way up. That's something that happens time and time again with inexperienced short sellers, and the same thing happens when a stock is falling to the downside and inexperienced traders are trying to buy into these dips as the stock is falling lower and lower without actually waiting for some kind of bullish confirmation that the stock is ready to bounce. Okay, so again, the lesson here is that you don't need to be in and out at the exact bottom or the exact top in order to make a nice profit on the trade. You just have to go with the momentum, trade with the trend, and look at what the market is currently showing you instead of trying to always predict what the market is going to do next. So let's take a look at the stock VLCM, for example. VLCM was another big gap up this morning. This was another potential gap and go candidate. However, what we can see is that at the market open, it kind of got stuffed right away and then came crashing back down. Since that point in time, it's been trading sideways along the VWAP, and there's really been no signs of momentum to either the upside or to the downside since the market opened several hours ago. What I'm trying to say is that even though there is potential for this to continue running because it did have a lot of momentum early on in pre-market, and there's a ton of volume coming in and going out of this stock today, doesn't necessarily mean that you should be in this stock, because at the end of the day, what it's doing right now is trading sideways and not giving any kind of confirmation that the stock is going to continue running. So instead of trying to predict what it's going to do, you again take what the market is showing you currently and then simply react to what you're seeing. Now with that being said, if this were to start breaking out maybe above the $1.20 level, at that point in time, that would be a bullish sign because it would be making a higher high. There's been a few higher lows that were put in at this point. And from there would be a good chance that we would see it push back up to the 131 level, retest that morning high, and potentially break out to new highs. On the other side of the spectrum, if this were to start breaking down below 90 cents per share, the morning low down here is about 91 cents, so that would be a bearish sign that the stock is breaking down. All of the traders that were buying up in this area would probably be considering cutting losses on the trade at that point. That's going to add to the supply, and that's going to drive the price lower and lower. So you can maybe look to take a short position from that level. Again, simply reacting to what the market is giving you instead of trying to predict what's going to happen next. And overall, that is the lesson that I got from trading TRVN today. So I just wanted to make this quick video to share a little bit about that trade tip and break down, of course, how I made that $1,000 profit on TRVN. So hopefully you can take what you learned in this video and you can do the same in your own trading. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to start doing these trading recaps a little bit more frequently, talking about some of my trades, both winners and losers, and then giving some tips and lessons that came from those trades. So make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on those types of videos, as well as the regular trading lessons that we've always done here at the Master the Market YouTube channel. And of course, if you want more detailed, in-depth trading lessons, or if you want to join us in our trading group, you can find more information on that at the links down below in the description. But anyway, thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck with your trading.